My name's Julie Qualter and I'm from Manchester. So I'm a doctor. I've got a PhD from the University of Manchester where I studied doing clinical spectroscopy, diagnosing prostate cancer. So I did that for 3.5 years. However, when I tell people this, that I have a PhD from Manchester, I was awarded a prestigious presidential scholarship award, so I didn't have to pay for anything. They think that I'm a very clever girl and that I come from a very privileged background, and that is not the case. I'm a girl from a council estate. I was probably known as Council House Barbie. I was a party girl, right? I hated school. There was nothing you could do to keep me in school. I hated science, I hated maths, I hated English, I hated going. And so when I left with no qualifications whatsoever. I went out to Ibiza for years, partying around Manchester. I was having the time of my life. Until one day I woke up at my nana and granddad's house and I thought, I've got nothing. I've achieved nothing and I'm doing nothing with my life. And the people I were hanging around with were not nice people. They was drug dealers. They were people that had no interest in bettering you. They was all out for themselves. Okay, so there was two choices. I was going to end up in jail because I was connected so much with these people, or I was going to end up dead. So I went back to college. So I walked in to a college not knowing anything at all. And I said, what are you enrolling in today? And they said, we're doing nursing and midwifery. And I went, I want to be a nurse. And I knew nothing about nursing at all. So I paid my money and I started this nursing course. And then I thought, I don't want to be a nurse. I really, really don't. So I ended up going to university and studying science. I did forensic science with analytical chemistry. And this is coming from a girl with dyslexia, right? My spelling and grammar is terrible, absolutely terrible. That terrible that in one of my reports that I did, we was doing a crime scene in Virginia, and all the way through I'd spelt Virginia as vagina. And it wasn't until the lecturer come and said to me and said, you've done a really good report, but you just need to spell check it because you've got a bit of a word mixed up. And you can imagine how embarrassing that was. Well, anyway, I ended up leaving with a first class master's degree. So this is a girl that, I can't spell, no grammar, left school with no qualifications, and this is what I got. And then that's when I was awarded the scholarship for the PhD. And I thought, you know what, life's really looking up. Everything's going to be fantastic. I've got away from this council estate, these people. I've got my fella. I was pregnant at the time, and then I had my baby when I started doing the PhD. And then just as I was about to finish, he broke up with me. And then time I'd finished the PhD, I was back in a council flat. I had over £50,000 worth of debt. I had £15,000 worth of credit card debt. And I'd just spent 12 years at university. And I thought, I can't believe I've just done 12 years and I'm right back to the beginning. All that and I'm right back to the beginning. But I could have given up. I could have said, this is my lot. This is what I'm going to do. But I didn't. And I started working for a huge corporate company. And within 6 years, I raised up the ranks to be on a 6-figure salary. So it took me 6 years to do. And my life completely changed. I saved up enough money to buy my first house. Got in the first house, took my son as a single mum on a cruise around South America. Got back, COVID hit. I couldn't believe it. My life changed completely. I went out, I broke my arm, and then a few days later, I got a phone call that my younger brother died of cocaine abuse. Then my granddad got a tumour, and he died. And it just feels like you're having this tumbleweed of everything going wrong and going wrong again. And it wasn't until about a year later that I started, I'm in this high-powered job. I've got my son who's doing well in school. I've got a husband now. Everything should be right. And I just didn't feel connected to anything. And then I joined the Global Woman Club. And then it has to be the only 12 months that I feel like I'm actually going to succeed in my life. I am determined now to do whatever it takes. If I can come through all this and still be okay, I will get to the top. And these women that are around, honestly, you make my day because you rise me up so much. And if it weren't for you, I wouldn't believe in myself because I listen to all your stories and how things, my story is not unique. I'm sure I've touched on things that have happened in your own life. So if I can do it, anybody can do it. And thank you very much.